The United States is bracing for Hurricane Matthew, and it is a dandy. About a dozen people died as the storm hit the Caribbean. Now Matthew is headed for Florida and could make landfill in less than 24 hours. 2 counties in Florida have already issued mandatory evacuation orders. Florida Governor Rick Scott is warning residents to follow all orders from their local officials.
Our #1 priority is people, protecting life. The storm has already killed multiple people, and we should expect the same impact in Florida if people do not take this seriously. If an evacuation order is issued for your area, leave immediately.
Georgia and the Carolinas are already preparing for Matthew. Traffic in South Carolina was bumper to bumper with people leaving Charleston. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, Typhoon Chaba is battering South Korea and Japan. At least 3 people have been killed and thousands of homes are without power. And these 2 storms, are they a coincidence or signs of a new trend in our environment? For that answer, we turn to distinguished conservation biologist, Dr. Reese Halter. Dr. Halter, good to have you with us tonight. How rare is it to have 2 storms on the globe of this magnitude potentially doing some horrific damage?
Extraordinarily rare, Ed. Welcome to Climate Instability, brought to you by fossil fuels. I've never seen in over 3 decades a Category 5, the equivalent. Earlier this week, Chaba had sustained winds of 165 miles an hour with gusts of 200 miles an hour. Ed, that rips roofs right off homes. And tonight, there's a possibility that Matthew will amp up to the next level into a Category 4. What we're very concerned of is not that it's going to drive into Florida, which will be horrific. And let me remind the viewers, the storm surge is awful. There's a possibility that this Hurricane Matthew, could twist, turn, after coming in, slamming into Florida, head back out to the Atlantic and cross back in to Florida and into the Gulf. This is unbelievable.
Okay. Well, this is a very rare prediction of the possibility of what this hurricane could do. And that graphic, I want our viewers to follow the red line. This is potentially a pattern that this hurricane could follow. How rare is this? And have you ever seen this?
It is somewhat rare, but let me remind you that hurricanes are massive heat pumps, sucking all their energy from overheated the Atlantic, which is around 85 degrees. The Gulf in parts is 88 degrees. So when they come into land, they lose that energy source. But the size of this hurricane, should it reach into the Gulf, it'll roar back up and then continue along and likely slam into Louisiana. All sorts of predictions are there. The reality is, in an overheating world, we got to expect a lot more of this, Ed.
All right, Dr. Reese Halter with us tonight. And again, Governor Rick Scott in Florida is telling residents to make sure they pay attention to local announcements and their local officials. Dr. Reese, good to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.